Yo, what up, YouTube? What up, what up, what up? This ain't no one. I'm at the gym again, and today we're going to talk about marriage and death. Now, the Bible say you shouldn't say anything bad about marriage. I'm not saying anything bad about marriage. I'm saying something bad about the reasons why people get married. You know, there are a lot of things in this world you get killed for, like treasures, but nothing will get you killed quicker than secrets. And in marriage, there are many secrets. You see what I'm saying? Especially the reason why two individuals elopes. Sometimes it's in the cause of secrets, and those secrets be with those vows pertaining to sickness, and death. Now, if marriage is such a good thing, why is it that it wasn't introduced to mankind until after mankind's fall? Meaning now we have to wrestle with this monogamous ankle brace. You know what I'm saying? It's like being on house arrest. These dudes grow up as men and then they leave their house whispering, "My wife might hear me." These things keep men in an adolescent state psychologically. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore you have a lot of grown women calling grown men little boys, and that shit is very Jim Crow and interesting. You know what I'm saying? Now common society goes for this shit. They drink the Kool-Aid up. They love it. This could be potentially the reason why also I don't fit into this world. But I mean, let's be honest. You know, people people get married, and they're not even faithful to going to church. You think those fucking relationships work? They don't. They're fucking going all over the place. That's why so many people get shot dead and everything like that. They fucking with some dude's wife or something. You know what I'm saying? And these females, they don't always tell you either. So, like I said, man, we got apps called Ashley Madison. Like, it's like some type of marriage website. It's just like, okay, so here's the thing, man. Like, if if people are swingers, then they're swingers. They're doing their thing. But like, if they're if they're married and then they go on Ashley Madison and they got post up a photograph and all that other shit, I mean, what's the point of whispering? How deep are these secrets anymore? That's what I'm saying, man. The common adult is an adolescent, and females now mature slower psychologically than males do. All right, this is just the truth. All right, it's just the truth. It used to be in the '90s that the females would mature much quicker than the males would mature. Females, when I was going to school, would be a lot more mature psychologically than males would be. But now, you know, the common female that's approximately, hold on, give me a second. The common female that is, the common female, okay, I'll just point that out in case any strange activity. Um, the common female doesn't start maturing to the age of 45 years old. And I've heard this somewhere else. I ain't gonna point out any names. If you know them, you know them. And I really start to recognize this big time. You know what I'm saying? In the world. Um, so I want to talk about, you know what I'm saying, marriage and death. And, you know, um, does marriage to some degree coincide with death? Um, you know, the best of both halves come together to create a child, and they pour all that they have into that child. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's no different than a snake shedding his skin, or the same transcendence as a snake shedding his skin has to flow in the continuum of time. You know, the common individual psychology changes every 11 months. They're reborn. You know what I'm saying? Much of scripture is about human development. They turned it into a religion, right? To show you they know nothing spiritual. Then they get married to the state, not unto God. You see what I'm saying? And all these things are allegedly, should we say, rewards pertaining to the fall? Or would you say it's a curse that pertains to the fall? That what sins do we have now, okay, that we didn't have in the Garden of Eden? Okay, so the things that a lot of things that are happening now, okay, would be okay in the Garden of Eden. Okay, but we did have a certain aperture or moral compass to be less prone to violence, right? And because of the law, we have made our violence more sophisticated, pertaining to spiritual warfare, psychological warfare, mental warfare, what have you, which has a much larger impact radius than your day-to-day violence. Um, so I want to ask you guys this: is what do you think about marriage? Do you have to end your life in order to create life and have children and have offspring and raise those offspring properly? To some degree, your life will have to end. This goes into the economic construct in the sense that this is a world that generates a harvest. This world needs a perpetual harvest of lamb or sheep. Okay? Ray being the Alpha and the Omega, which represents Christ in the physical construct, the baby, the beginning and the ending, being harvested over and over again for different creatures of the earth, spiders and vampires and dragons, so on and so forth. All right. That use and judge according to the righteousness of God to tear into man pertaining to weakness or witchcraft, and men not being able to defend themselves, in the earth being naive, not having knowledge. Okay. All right. So when we talk about reapers, when we talk about vampires, when we talk about strigoi, when we talk about marriage, do you see how all of these things coincide with death, and how these things could potentially coincide with marriage? And that most individuals, they're not looking to, they're self-willed. See, I fulfill Christ's law. Christ fulfilled the law of the Old Testament. You see what I'm saying? Which means I have liberty, as in the Garden of Eden. Christians haven't figured this out yet. You understand what I'm saying? Individuals don't want to be judged according to being righteous. What they rather want to have is to be judged and be accounted for their excuse to justify the things they already enjoy doing. They want plausible deniability. Okay, that's what I've come to realize in this world, in this echo chamber. Um, Individuals, they don't want to be accountable. They'd rather have an excuse to work the unseemly, to do the things that they do. They want to be cast down and rejected by society to a certain extent so that they can have a reason to do the things that they do, because they know the truth and they know the things that they're doing is incorrect. They know that. That's why they want to feel that way. So we have a culture of sick that's attracted to sick. And we have a culture of sick that's attracted to sick. Then they get into certain addictions, and these addictions coincide. Someone who has an addiction to H may be addicted to feeling sick because the come down is greater than the high, as you will experience more of the come down eventually. But they want to have an IV, they want to have a lifeline to Christ at the same time. Therefore, there always needs to be sacrifice, and therefore, you get the money to sell out your kids and kill your children. That's what it's for. You get blessed with finances so you could reap your harvest, so that you could kill your harvest for the feeding of the flock, so that they could be lamb for this world. In this world, there are many individuals, and they're attached to images, and these images are nothing but excuses. I wear my insults because my insults is a good cover, but also It reflects the perceptions and the perspective of the individual who judges me according to insults. I know for one lacks discernment. Therefore, I can use their ignorance as a cloak. All right, this ninjutsu, not the type that you learn in the school, but the kind I get out of scripture. In such a manner, I do not need to hide. You know what I'm saying? These individuals, when we talk about scripture, when we talk about images pertain to reputations. People are more about their reputation than being about what they're about. That's what you'll find. What's up, brother? 98% of people only care about their reputation, but won't stand on their 10 toes for nothing. That's another issue with society. You just going into marriage, sickness, and death, the harvest, the grapes, the children that they produce, in order to sell them into the fire. And these are the everlasting chains that they can't break out of, is this financial castration system. And I know that child is going to turn out one of two ways, but either way, they're going to be what they would deem as a monster. All right? It's where we get many of our shows that we champion, such as X-Men, meaning formerly men, or Masons, or mighty men of renown, or great men. These individuals are earthborn or Nephilim, and I guess they have an issue with me. I'm hated for of all manner of man's sake, by all manner of man, for Christ's name's sake. And this is the thing, man. Individuals just want to do what they want to do. That's it. They just want an excuse to justify the reason why they do it. That means they don't have a backbone. They don't stand on 10 toes. All right? And then they use that image or reputation of the fact that they can't help themselves to garner I'm a so-called, what's up, man? To garner this, I'm a so-called badass or whatever. This is the chip on the shoulder that people wear. It's very outwardly. You know what I'm saying? It's very about reputation. It's very about superficial things. But when you get down to wanting to build something actually productive in society, these individuals can't do anything. They complain. They bitch and moan. That's all they do. And I find it sad with the advancement of technology that pertain to society. All we would need is one EMP strike, and I tell you, these new generations will be out of it. You know what I'm saying? The first thing that's going to go is our communication skills in society, because people are only used to talking to a computer. Right? And some individuals are becoming computers as they interact with computers more and more, right? And we have AI and we have Siri and we have all of these things. So if you negate mankind from the spiritual aspects of their life, right? Then this goes back to what I was saying. The brain is no different than a computer. It's very easy to master, what have you, so on and so forth. And the harvest is the children. Okay? So there's a lot of correlations. You'll have to meditate on. I spoke about a lot of things about the correlation between marriage and death, and what does it mean since the fall of mankind in the Garden of Eden? Is marriage really a blessing? Me, when I entered Earth, I came in through the top of a pyramid. This pyramid is called Lucifer, that we exist inside of. One of 8 Rubik's cubes. This is the technology cube. This is the first of the row of cubes. But we had white gowns when we came into this from Hyperia, and it was just like Stranger Things, like the girl, number 11. I was even born, 11 being my number, I was even born 11 years after my sister. You know what I'm saying? So given the fact that mean spirits want to come and pose me as being a mistake, If we're speaking of human nature, the only thing done on purpose is the mistake. So I would be an individual with intention, more so than anybody else. You understand what I'm saying? And of history, the things that we know that are created are the things that have been created out of mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Um, for an individual to not have any friends but have so many critics is also pros to the fact that, it can be speculated that I could be perfect in my generation pertaining to scripture. This doesn't mean that you're an individual that has never sinned. That's definitely not what it means. What it means is, when Christ said, "Be perfect as I am perfect," the fruits of your life are going to reflect His. Uh, Rejection from the world, artwork. It doesn't matter if the artist decided to be good artwork or bad artwork. The only thing that matters is that individuals take the time, okay, to witness the art at hand, okay? And whether they deem the art to be good or bad means that they have been impacted either way. Most people pass through life, because this is a black hole that we're inside of right now, completely unrecognized. You know what I'm saying? And even the individuals they interact with don't really care about them. You know what I'm saying? They have a symbiotic relationship. You know, most of these individuals, you know what I'm saying? They kind of live like a baseless life. Even their highs in life are kind of mundane or whatever. You know, but here's the thing, man. This is why I talked about the marriage and death situation, about whether it's a gift or a curse. Now I'm going to talk about, does light escape a black hole? Okay, I don't believe in black holes. I do believe that wormholes are real. And I do believe that light escapes a black hole because we can look at Mother Nature and we can see that when a mother has a child, that baby has to pass through a canal. All right? Ray, or that light you see at the end of the tunnel, would be the light of Egypt, the overhead lamp that's over the surgeon that delivers the baby. All right? That artificial light, the knowledge that represents the knowledge of man. Okay? So light does pass through what you call a black hole, which is really a wormhole. Okay? And light escapes a so-called wormhole or a black hole. All right? It's just a canal. That's all it is. One thing that I do know about what Christ did is Christ protected mankind from his own ways, be it that man is as the moon. The moon doesn't follow exact cycle, is artificial, is lawless, and pertains to the representation of knowledge. And the earth, you know what I'm saying, with all the Wiccans and witchcraft and all that crap that goes on in the world today, she consumes, you know what I'm saying, she consumes bad fruit. This echoes man's way in the Garden of Eden. Okay? Mother Nature consumes bad fruit. So therefore, spiritual law and natural law would be one and the same for the individual who goes in the way according to the Bible. But they would be set apart or divorced for the individual that doesn't go in the way according to the Bible. And if spirit and nature is divorced, then that individual is always going to exist in some form of schizophrenia or cognitive dissonance. Now, if you were born and exist that way your entire life, how does a fish know it's in water unless you pull it out? Now we understand the breath of life. All right? Peace and blessings be with you all. This entry is called Marriage and Death. I'm out.